What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, thanks for hopping in here. Today's video, we're gonna be showing you how to rig the Jimmy Henge from Jackall. Now, the Jimmy Henge here is more of your JDM style soft plastic, especially in that fuzzy dice slash creature urchin style category. So the three different sizes we have here at Lake Per Tackle are going to be the 42 millimeter, 50 millimeter, and the Kings. Now the 42 and 50 come in a pack of 5, and then the Kings come in a pack of 2 with their own individual packaging, which I really enjoy. There's a lot of great natural clear water colors. So for the demonstration purposes of this video, we are gonna focus on rigging the King. Just because it's the biggest, it should be the best way for you to get a good visual of the rigging process. So kicking it off, let's go ahead and talk about the Jimmy Henge itself. So just like a lot of the fuzzy dice or Coike style lures, this is an elastomer TPE style formula. So this is ultra durable. You're able to get really good hookup ratios if you use the right size hook. So we're going to talk about that. Another really neat thing about this one is, just like a lot of good Coike style baits, this one really has a good start-stop motion to it. And that's because this whole process of extrusion or creation of this bait here, specifically in the plastic, it's very uniform and it is very well made. Everything about it is very limber. It's not like a lot of specific TPE styles where once it's kind of in a position, it can be molded around. This one here is very limber. It has a good natural motion to it. You know, something like the Coike where those arms stand straight out, or a lot of some of the knockoff versions, their arms kind of stay very straight and there's not a lot of motion to them. The Coike is a good in-between, and this Jimmy Henge is an amazing in-between where you're able to really effectively dial in how you want this bait to perform in different water conditions, as well as different circumstances on the type of fish you're trying to go after. And by, you know, when I say type of fish, I just mean, what is their mood? Are they actively feeding? Are you really trying to slow this down? So we're gonna go ahead and rig this up a little bit, but before we do that, I'm gonna give you a little close up here. So again, this is the Jimmy Henge from Jackall. So the two really different arms on this one are going to be this almost like wide arm where it tees off into two different tentacles, and then you've got these little ones that just have little bulbs at the end. So the back of the bait, or I guess the front of the bait, as a lot of people like to rig this, and this is how I like to rig it. I call this the front most of the time, but if you're holding it like this, it's really the bottom or back. But you've kind of got the button area right here, and then you also have the top conical area right here. So again, there's multi ways to rig this, and naturally everything flows down towards the top of the cone. If you hold it this way, everything kind of spreads out. So, you know, again, depending on how you want to rig this one, you can go either way, but I prefer the button side. This is where I'm gonna be putting my hook, and the two hooks that I really absolutely enjoy using. For the best hookup ratio, the Owner Jungle Wacky has that really wide, deep gap in it. It's really easy to get this hook into the fish's mouth, which is a very big perk. The other thing about this one as well is it's ultra strong. Now, when it comes to a more weedless approach, if you have a lot of timber, if you have a lot of very sparse, thick grass, lily pads even, this is going to be the hook you want. This is the 2/0 regular heavy guard, or regular guard talisman in the 2/0. And the Jungle Wacky, the 1/0, is the size you want. Owner sizes range a little bit differently from a lot of the other competition. So just for reference for you, this is a 1/0 Jungle Wacky, great for the King. And then this is going to be a 2/0, which is a little bit bigger in the technical sizing, but the gap is going to be very similar to the Jungle Wacky. So the regular guard in this one here is very good. You have a good hookup ratio. It's not quite as big a hook as something like the Talisman Brutal, but this one remains very well hidden, and it's very finessey for those fish. So instead of using the wired titanium guard, this uses a monofilament / fluorocarbon fiber guard, which you can easily manipulate or cut off if you want more or less snagginess, I guess, also profile in the water. So rigging this up, I like to do this Nico style where I use a nail weight. There's lots of great nail weights out there. These are the cheap lead ones. This is the VMC Nico weight. These have the little ridges, so it helps keep the actual weight inside the plastic. And another thing too is this is a TPE style material, which is really, really good for actually holding this style weight in. Another great option if you're looking for something that you don't have to change out all the time, I really enjoy the tungsten Permalock weights from BKK. You're able to really, really allow that Permalock weight to get in there, and with the monofilament guards, it holds it in. The other plus to the BKK Permalock is that it has a little clip on it. So if you shove that Permalock way up in this bait here, you can actually use that little hinge point to actually hook through as well. But for the purpose of this, we're going to use this Nico weight right here. See if you can see that right there. And we are going to rig this up straight through the cone section. And it helps to kind of get a little twisting motion in there. And also heating up whatever you're using, whether it's tungsten or lead, you just keep jamming it in there. Like once you get it going, just keep twisting like this, forward and backwards, left to right. You can get it in there very, very easily if you just keep twisting. And that's the main thing. It also helps if you have pliers to really push it deep down in there. But once you get it in, it is locked on. This one specifically is a, I believe, 3/32 ounce, which is a really, really good size for like a moderate sink rate on this King Jimmy Henge. Again, this is TPE elastomer style stuff, so it does float just naturally on a hook. And you know, you can also rig this on a drop shot, but what most guys are doing with these dice Coike / suspending style baits is slowly weighting them down, like literally just enough, just like a jerk bait. And all you're gonna do with your hook here is you're gonna hook it straight through that little button area, and it is going to allow you to cast it out very, very easily. And I really suggest trying to get that hook deep down in there. So I'm gonna rig this up. Jungle Wacky is a little bit easier to get out than that Talisman there, just because there's not secondary packaging. I highly, highly encourage you, take this hook, really get it deep down into the button. I mean, right at the very back, exit it just like this. So you still have a good hook hanging out the front. When that bass comes up and eats it, they're going to get that hook right there. So hookup ratio, again, is a really big thing on these dice style baits. And the other thing with the Jungle Wacky is it does have this little bit of a section in the back that allows you and allows this bait to really stick back there. Again, trim this up, push it a little bit further in, and you're gonna be good to go. And again, the goal of this, depending on the depth you're trying to fish, or if it's specific isolated stuff, just it's lead, just cut it off, break it, and get your desired sink rate. But that right there is money, especially going through the water just like this. And again, going back to the shape of this, it really stops in place. So it's like a suspending jerk bait that you can keep in place, or if you need to, just keep pulsing it and it's gonna keep going. So lots and lots of really cool stuff. Now, that's the King. Now, when it comes to like the 50 or the 42, less buoyancy equals less weight. So most of the time with the 42 and the 50 guys, I really like literally almost like a 64th or a 32nd ounce of weight. You really don't need anything in there. When it comes to these specific sizes, I really like a size 1 or size 2, you know, just normal drop shot style hook, wacky hook, and that is really all you need. I mean, just minimal weight. If you want to try adding like a little centering pin or something in here, you can definitely do that to, you know, hopefully retain a lot of these baits. They're not ultra cheap again, but that right there is the Jimmy Henge, the rigging portion at least. This one again does have a small little button in there that you can put your hook on, and it is elastomer. Now, it doesn't have a ton of arms like the King, but it does have the 5 separate arms that give it a nice little squid octopus fleeing motion. These are very slimy. We did just also receive a shipment of bite powder from Norries. Noise and Spro, and we got a couple more of the full cast and 13mm Coike. So if you go online right after this video post, they might not be up, but I promise you guys, they will be up on the website by the end of the day on the 13th on Friday. Make sure you check out the Valentine's Day promotion we got going on. Every single order placed between the 14th and the 15th will get a free Valentine's Day gift in their order. So keep up with that, as well as keep up with these. Back for second round for some of these, we have a new line of Gomexus reel handles. These, again, are going to be kind of that budget option when it comes to, replacing your handle. We've got a lot of high-end handle replacements with SLP Works and Studio Composite. The Gomexus, they are really good. They're really smooth. Just take care of them. They are a little bit more cheap than some of the other ones we have, but we have these in a lot more sizings. They are also a lot more readily available, which is nice. So this one here, we have both in 7x4 and 8x5 sizing for your Daiwa, Shimano, Luz, Abu Garcia, all that cool stuff. So these ones are going to be 120mm, specifically aluminum handle. It is a little bit heavier, of course, than your stock options. So these are going to be great for your bigger swim baits, big Carolina rig stuff, big jig. They also utilize this round handle here, which is great for getting a good grip when you need it. Now, moving down in size, guys, we do have 100mm, which is probably one of my absolute favorites when it comes to just overall little bit bigger stuff. It gives you enough torque to really torque on the jig fish, Texas rig fish, everything like that. What's cool about this one specifically, it is UV activated. So let me take this outside, warm it up a little bit in the UV rays. I'll be right back. Let me show you how cool this is. All right, gotta make it back. Did you see that? Look at that. I held one side in the sun, it actually turns purple. So that's really cool. So again, this is like a UV activated one. These come in 100mm, great overall sizing for just about everything you want. And then the last size, this one is going to be kind of your do it all, literally everything except that bigger sizing. This is a 95mm handle. These are probably some of my favorite in terms of the actual knobs themselves. This one utilizes a full like conical design where it kind of just slim tapers down, and it also has a carbon fiber actual handle piece. These are very, very smooth. The 95, again, for crankbaits, even spinner baits and stuff like that, it's still enough. Ultra smooth. Make sure to check these out at lakeprotackle.com, guys. These are currently in the system, so when this video posts, these will be available. And then, last but not least, we have a brand new product from Megabass that we're going to be talking about in another video. We'll see if you can spot the difference in this actual bait here. But very, very cool stuff. Lots of neat things coming from Megabass, including the new Respect Series color. I believe it's Spring Reaction, something like that. Be on the lookout for that. I'm sure if you're into the Respect Series stuff, you know exactly what's coming. So we've got that coming in. Gomexus, Jimmy Henges, all available at lakeprotackle.com. Coikes will also be going up on Friday, so be on the lookout for that. And Studio Composite rods dropping on the 18th. So lots of cool stuff happening here at Lake Pro Tackle. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.